Hey, Neil from Velo Expert, out on a cold and crisp day just near Sheffield, on one of my favourite quiet little lanes, riding the brand new Cervelo R5. This is their latest superlight climbing bike, which they launched back in July. None of the guys really use it at all, but it was ridden to victory by Pauline from SRAM in the women's tour, so it's certainly got some pedigree already. And it is, as you'd expect for a climbing bike, very light. In fact, really light. The top of the range builds are under 6 kilos out of the box, which is crazy for a bike with disc brakes. But this one, which I don't want to say budget spec or even medium spec because it's 8.5 grand, comes in at 6.4, so very, very light. If you want to put that into context, it's actually pretty good value. The BMC I'm riding at the moment as well, which comes in at just under 6.7 kilos, is 12 grand. So this one's 3,500 quid less and a few hundred grams lighter. Now obviously that, 8.5k is still a big chunk of change, but it does put it into perspective that this is actually a pretty good value bike. Now I've ridden a lot of the Cervelo R series over the years. I sold Cervelo as an account manager for just over 6 years, and I've ridden pretty much every iteration. So I'm well placed to put this one to the test. And first things first, it feels a lot like the Cervelo R series. So stack and reach a 344, 580, so racy geometry, but not crazy low at the front. It's a little bit lower than the BMC by about 6mm, about 3mm shorter, I think. But, classic race bike, but not crazy aggressive, so good for long days out as well. But the weight loss is really impressive with this. So the frame and forks are 100 grams lighter, which is no mean feat. The original one was hardly heavy, but they've managed to knock a big chunk of weight off using a new handlebar and a set of lightweight reserve wheels. So the new handlebar, the HB18, really nice shape, kind of flares back a little bit, nice drop, good shape, a little bit flexy. Find on really steep climbs I could get them to move a little bit. Nothing too disconcerting. Maybe I've just had too many pies at Christmas, but something to be aware of compared to some other products. As well as a new seat post and the super light reserve wheels. So these are the 34-37s, which are really light. Thank you. With a 22mm, well, 22 on the rear, 22.8 on the front internal diameter. So on the narrow side, but this is designed as a lightweight climbing bike, so that kind of makes sense. And speaking of narrow, the tyres, in fact, the tyres are the only thing on here that I would probably change. It comes spec'd with a Vittoria course speed in a 26mm, which there's nothing wrong with, but I feel like I could do with a wider tyre. It's a little bit disconcerting looking down and seeing the sidewalls protrude past the rubber. And again, it hasn't really made any difference to my first ride, but I would rather something with a bit more volume, just to give it a bit more comfort. I think Cervelo would agree with me as well, actually. When you look at the geometry spec, it says it's got a lower BB to do with 29mm tyres. So it seems a bit strange to spec them with 26. There we go, that's an easy change and quite a personal preference. In terms of comfort and handling, it's very nice actually. Feels a lot like a Cervelo R5 should. Responsive, fast, but enough comfort just to take the edge off it. So it's not like the 51 that I've been riding, which is super comfy. This does feel more responsive than that, but certainly not harsh. Feels like a really well poised, top quality road bike. So yeah, this is my first ride review, so there we go. I'm going to do a head-to-head with this and the BMC soon, and a full review coming up on my YouTube channel soon. So keep your eyes peeled, and if there's anything you want to know or any questions on either bike, drop a comment below. Cheers!